So hello and welcome back to another video. Today I've popped out early in the morning to try for some mackerel using metal jigs. Now I'm using a Samson long cast 15 to 60 gram lure rod, and on there I've got a 40 gram metal from Waylander Fishing. Now I'm going to be casting as far as I can, hence the reason for the longer and heavier rod today. I really want to blast this lure out because the mackerel are going to be far out. There's a couple of pots in the way, which is a bit frustrating, so I'm going to have to fish around those, but hopefully we can get a feed out of this morning's session and cook them up later on today. First mackerel down, hopefully there's a few more about. So here's a closer look at the lure I'm using. 40 gram jig minnow from Waylander Fishing. I've been using these pretty much since the start of the year. Mackerel showed up really early over here in Guernsey. And when I say really early, I mean January. Had some really good sessions, and then they faded off a bit, and it seems as though they've come back inshore. They are few and far between, obviously, fishing a spot like this, but we're in with a shout of a couple, so that's all I really want. I'm just working that jig, bouncing it through the water, not too deep because it's very snaggy in front of me. And I've also got, you can probably see on film, those crab pots just in front of me there, trying to avoid those, avoid the rope. I'm on. That was really far out. This could be a small one because there's not much of a fight on it, but they do tend to go a little bit when you get them closer in. There we go. You can see how many times I'm reeling the reel here. Oh, he's come off. Bugger. That's the problem. When you hook them so far out, you just got to keep the tension on. Look, I'm still reeling. That just gives you an idea of how far out they are. And the reason why I've brought this rod with me with a heavy metal. That's the problem. You got to stay tight to them. And what can happen is the hook can just tear out their mouth. Now what you can do if you're fishing over a really sandy area is just loosen your drag, fish a loose drag, and then you can sort of play the mackerel. They're more likely to stay on the hook. But I just can't really do that because there's so many rocks in front of me. But if they bolt, they'll just go behind the rocks, cut the line, and then not only will you lose the fish, you'll lose your lure, your leader and everything. Come on mackerel, where are you? They're very few and far between. Either there's not many out there, or they're even further out than really I'm casting, the main numbers of them. Covering all the ground, casting round in a semicircle as always. Cover as much ground as possible. It's a nice calm morning. Still about, well, it's about 10 to 7 in the morning, just on high water. And what I might do after this is go try for a bass somewhere. There we go, we got another. They're an alright size, these mackerel today. No monsters, but good eating size. So here we go, mackerel number 2. Happy days. Let's get him dispatched. Get him in the bag. So I've just given this mackerel a knock on the head. That's just the nerves going, but that's what it's just coughed up. Little sand eels. Oh, I'm on. I just turned the camera on because I've just seen a massive seal come out of the water. And literally, as I turned the camera on, I've hooked up. But right in front of me, I don't know if it will come. Oh, has it come off? This fish has come off. Look, seal's just popped up there. You can see it. Well, that's interesting because that mackerel took closer in. I'm going to stick one over there. Now this can sometimes work in your favour because when the seals show off, I don't know if you can see it out there, it pushes the fish closer in. That's the third one I've lost now. So I've just seen that seal pop up again, but he's gone all the way over that side. So what I'm hoping is the fish have come this side and I'll be able to cast straight out and start hooking into them more often. Well, I just got hit then for sure. Literally just bringing the lure in. All of a sudden the rod just folded over, so it come off. Felt like a fish hitting its side on. Come on mackerel, where are you at? It's gone very quiet since that seal showed its face. So that's going to do it for the mackerel. Really spread out and sporadic this morning. I only managed 2. Lost 3 or 4 others, but what I'm going to do is I'm heading home now, and then in a couple hours time I'm going to hit a mark and try for a bass. So I've got the day free today. I'm going to be out fishing all day, just target whatever I can. So in a couple hours I'll be down to another mark trying for a bass. We'll see how we get on from there and take the day as it comes. So it's later in the day and it's time to cook up some of this mackerel. Now, I say cook, however, this catch and cook is actually not going to involve any cooking. What I'm going to do is a really simple mackerel ceviche. That involves just prepping the mackerel, adding some citrus, some salt, pepper, a few other little ingredients, but very minimal things, letting the mackerel cure for a bit, and then eating it virtually raw. This is an absolutely beautiful summer dish. I've actually done a catch and cook mackerel ceviche on my channel before with grapefruit, and it was exquisite. So if you want to go check that out, I'll leave a link in the description for that video. So this morning it was actually really quiet. I think I said at the start of the video I wasn't expecting too much. Now I did go bass fishing afterwards, but I didn't have any joy at the spot I went to, so I'm going to leave that out this video completely. And tomorrow I'm going to be hitting the bass for a few hours. So very simply, I'm going to take you through what I'm doing. I'm going to prep a couple of ingredients now. You're going to see how dead easy this is. It really is so easy. Once I've got the ingredients sorted, it will take me 5 minutes to fillet the mackerel and debone it. Then I'm going to pickle it for about 20 minutes and then it's going to be ready to eat. So let's crack on, let's do it. I must say I apologise for the noise in the background. Without even thinking, I put my dishwasher on earlier. So that's the noise in the background in case you're wondering. However, I hope it's not going to interfere with the video too much. So all I have here is some beetroot. This is already cooked. This is just pre-packet cooked stuff. Some chili flakes. I've got some basil, which I'm using purely just to use it up, so I had it in my fridge. And then here, I've got some lovely organic lemons from a friend of mine. As you can see, the different colours and different sizes of those. And 1 lime. So to begin with, all we're going to do is squeeze the juice of these lemons and limes into this bowl. You don't want any pips in there. So we'll do another half a lemon. Or in fact, I'm going to do all the lemon. So that's 2.5 lemons in there, and then 1 lime. Lime goes in. And so simple. After that, Just going to season it with some sea salt. And some black pepper. And believe it or not, that is the pickling juice done. So the next job, just going to get some beetroot here. Now I want two different styles. I want some really, really thin circles of beetroot. And then I want some tiny cubes as well. So one of those is actually going to be enough. We can get that to one side, and then here I've got the 2 mackerel which I caught this morning. I'm going to do the slightly smaller one. Pop this one back in the fridge. They have such amazing colours, these mackerel. Check out the blues and the greens on that. Really, really lovely looking fish. Just going to flatten it out a little bit, and then whip that fillet off. Now I did gut these as soon as I got home, and it does help to bleed fish out when you're doing ceviche. However, I will admit I didn't do these, but you'll see here the flesh is still a nice colour. Look at the colours on that. The flesh is still nice and fresh, absolutely perfect. So we'll take the other side off as well. Ooh. As always, when you're prepping fish, nice sharp knife is what you want. And then just around the head like that. And there we go. I'm going to discard the head. And just have a little clean up here. And then very, very simply, we're just going to take these bones off. These are kind of from like, almost like the rib cage, which protects all the organs in the fish. And then straight down the middle here, we've got all the pin bones. So running the knife down the center of the fish there, not penetrating the whole way through. And then we can just grab it like that. And when it all goes well, it all comes out in one. Sometimes it breaks a little. In that case, just score it a little slightly deeper. And then you can just take the rest out like that. Give it a quick check. Just run your finger down the center there. Obviously you just don't want any bones. Next fillet, same thing. Down with something like that. Remove all those pin bones. And there we go. What you're left with is just pure flesh. No bones in there, nothing. And so what we do now, I'm just going to slice it up in little chunks. Now you're going to see how simple this is. Literally just a case of putting some citrus into a bowl, prepping your fish. So we're going to get that here now, and then just drop it in. Just like that. Give it a little shake. You don't want to be fiddling with it too much because you don't want the fish to break down. And we're just going to leave that for 20 minutes to pickle away, cure nicely, and then it's ready to eat. So we are 3:20. While this is doing its thing, it means I can wash this board up, and in 15 minutes I'll give it a check and then I'll show you the rest. So if you take a little look at this now, you can see that is starting to cure away nicely. You can see the white on the flesh there. That's the acid cooking the fish effectively. Now really you're just cooking the outside, the inside is still going to be slightly raw. but that's exactly what you want. So this is nearly ready. I'm going to get the other stuff onto the plate, which is literally going to take 30 seconds, and we're good to go. Beetroot here, so I'm just going to put these thin slices on the center of the plate like that. Really, really, really basic, but packed full of flavor and just nice and vibrant looking. So beetroot goes on just like that. Then I've also got some of my mum's homegrown olive oil from Cyprus. A little bit of that goes on there. Just going to season it slightly with a bit of black pepper, a little bit of sea salt, and then we've got our fish. So all I'm going to do is just layer this around the plate. Obviously this is a really light meal, so I've used 1 mackerel for this, as you saw. It's go nice with a nice bit of ciabatta or lovely bit of focaccia or something like that. But just continue to get these lovely chunks of mackerel on there, and then I'm going to add some of that diced up beetroot too. And the rest of the fish. Actually, before I do that, a couple leaves of basil. I'm just using the basil because I had it in my fridge already. So this actually works really well with mint also. Then the remaining mackerel goes on there. Get that lovely blue skin side up. Then with the juice, we're just going to dress that over the top. We've got a couple more basil leaves. And a few chili flakes. And I mean, look at that. That is epic. Absolutely epic. We'll finish that off with a touch more olive oil on top, and then a little bit around. And there we go. That there is your mackerel ceviche, done in a matter of 20 minutes altogether. Check out the vibrant colours on it. Ready to eat. Oh, look at it. This is going to be phenomenal. Well, first off, I'm just going straight bit of mackerel. Oh my god, it's so zesty. We get a bit of that fish, beetroot, basil. If you were doing this at home for a dinner party or something, it's one that'll impress people. But people don't seem to realise sometimes just how simple it is. All of the acid in those lemons and limes is doing all the work for you. All you need to do is prep the fish, leave it in there to cure away, and you're left with something like this. It's restaurant quality food. Oh man, that's so good. Luckily, my dishwasher has stopped in time for me to eat, so no noise in the background. Now I know the camera won't pick this up, but the flesh on the outside is white, and in the middle there you can see it's virtually raw. I mean, it's literally just seared like a carpaccio would be.
The texture is phenomenal. I absolutely love fish like this. I'm a massive, massive fan of sushi. I like raw fish, I like raw meat. So this, like stuff like this is just right up my street. And if you like fish, don't be put off by trying something like this. As long as you've got fresh fish, if you ever prep a fish and it's got parasites in it or anything like that, don't pickle that. If a fish does have parasites in it, you can either freeze it or just cook it all the way through, and it will kill off anything that's in there. But if you're doing something like this, always check the flesh of the fish first. Make sure there's nothing like that, no little worms in there. And it'll be absolutely cracking. It's so good. I don't really want this to end. Absolutely incredible. I've been dead silent the last 2 minutes. Just enjoying it. So, I know this video is going to be a really, really quick one because not a lot happened this morning. However, got a nice little feed out of it, and I've also got that other mackerel in the fridge, which I'll probably cook up later or sometime tomorrow. Phenomenal. That is what summer, for me, is all about. So as I said, I know this video is going to be a quick one. However, I hope you've enjoyed it. Please go ahead and try this. Please go ahead and check out the other Mackerel Ceviche video I did in the past as well. Very, very similar, but a few different tweaks here and there, and you got yourself a different dish. So on that note, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching this video. There'll be plenty more to come in the future, so keep your eyes peeled. If you liked it, then please give a like, and I'll see you on the next one.